A lot of people are asking me, what is this new economy that you keep writing about and talking about in conscious business? Well, change has always been a constant in any society and any civilization. But in recent times, we have faced unprecedented change across all the various environments in which we live and which society operates. In terms of business, we are now at, for the first time in history, a position where our children in Gen X, Gen Y environments are now creating their own ecosystem of business. They are now setting up the structures, the business platforms, particularly in digital channels, through social media, the internet, and all the various forms of e-commerce that go on in these digital worlds. And they are not beholden to the generations above them. So the values, the rules, the ways in which business was traditionally done are no longer so relevant to an increasing number of people on this planet. Entrepreneurialism, innovation, imitation are now some of the key words which define how business is being envisioned, created, and conducted, and online by a new generation of very business-savvy people. This is part of the new economy, because the new economy is now driven from a whole new paradigm that is not so much built on the way in which business has been done in the past. In fact, us baby boomers, and I count myself as being one of those, now are playing catch-up as we try to understand these new environments and understand what it is to be doing business in this space with a whole new range of consumers who, unlike any other time in our civilized past, have more access to information, are more vocal as prosumers, as trolls even, as people who have a voice, have a platform, have an intention, and definitely have an attitude around how businesses conduct themselves in the communities in which they would choose to offer their products and services. So this landscape is like nothing we've had before. In the past, businesses were able to conduct their own way of being and doing in the communities in which they inhabited without really being accountable to the stakeholders within that community in any meaningful way. Businesses basically did what they wanted. And there was moral lapses. There was a moral vacuum in many businesses where basically, like Gordon Gekko said in the 1980s, greed is good. Well, now doing good is good for business. And this new way of seeing business is very much how the new economy is playing out. Consumers are very now much concerned with wider societal issues and how they play out in the way in which businesses conduct themselves with their staff, conduct themselves with their suppliers, conduct themselves with other stakeholders that help the business operate day to day. Not only that, but businesses are now being viewed in terms of how they contribute to the communities in which they live, or not, and how businesses are being proactive to facilitate social enterprise or social enterprise initiatives that enable the human capital of the business to engage with the local communities to do good within the business, but also within the community, but not for profit. It's for the community good and maybe for some marginalised members of the community to have access to resources, information, and maybe some of the business capital that previously they weren't able to avail to under traditional old economy, command and control type operations. So typically now, consumers are looking to see how businesses are behaving. And when businesses are behaving badly, they're getting exposed. They're getting shamed. They're getting made accountable for the first time beyond what you would normally see in a legal setting through the courts of law or through the regulatory authorities, such as the ACC, ASIC and other bodies that might make some of the corporate players accountable for misdemeanours or outright unethical or illegal conduct. Now you have the little people logging on in their thousands who are actually researching, investigating and testing the claims of business that are being made around their products and services. And how authentic are these claims? And in fact, how good are their products and services? And how good are the people who are selling, offering or standing behind these products and services? Now this is coming from the fact that people in society are now not living from survival mode ways of being in their own lives. The level of income in society has risen. The level of education in society has risen. So people now are not living from, in terms of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, from survival level operatives, or from a preoccupation with gathering just the very basics of food, water, shelter to survive. People are now emerging into higher consciousness. And in this higher consciousness, higher states of being start to come into people's lives. People now can relax and start to cast their minds around what is the meaning and purpose of my life. And also, what is the meaning and purpose of the entities and people and businesses around me. And also, I have concerns perhaps for the way in which my planet is evolving. I have concerns around perhaps environmental issues, perhaps issues to do with the way in which countries, communities are behaving and conducting themselves. And I now have a platform through the internet and social media by which I can now voice my concerns and also express an opinion. With the amount of information on the internet, anyone can be an expert. In the old society, the old economy, information was pretty much held and controlled by the elite. And so people who wanted to understand more about an issue or to make themselves become more aware and more enlightened had far more of a struggle to do so. Now all the information of the previous epochs of our existence are at our fingertips through the agency of search engines like Google. We now all can become experts and informed and opinionated within the matter of minutes. And people are doing it. So businesses have got to understand you cannot just treat people the way in which you want to treat them. Unless you're coming from clearly articulated values that you live authentically in every aspect of your operation and that you are seen by those watching you to behaving in congruent and authentic ways to those values, someone out there is going to expose you. And so the old days of branding, where branding agencies came up with catchy slogans, great looking designs, and were able to manipulate through spin doctoring the information that actually got outside the boundary walls of the business until the community. You are no longer in control in the new economy of the information or the agenda of your business. Brands are now living social processes that evolve with the people inside and outside the business. The way of conducting yourself in business is totally different in this emerging new economy. There are many different aspects to this, and Conscious Business Australia are at the forefront of thought leadership both within Australia and internationally in writing, researching and informing and coming up with the edicts, the understanding, the ideas and the frameworks for how this new economy can and probably should look so that business can transition in a stable, orderly and evolved way towards a new setting where business is now more appropriate to the community, to the environment, and to the people who work within and the people who as customers are served by that business. Basically, the values within the business must be clearly seen. We must be conscious to all parts of the business, conscious to the stakeholders, conscious to our environment, conscious moment to moment, to what we do in our business lives. I'm Richard Boyd. I'm the CEO of Conscious Business Australia, and if you'd like to know more about conscious business and how we can engage with you to help you understand where you're at in your journey from the old economy, command and control, towards the new economy, give us a call. We offer a wide range of coaching, consulting, and training frameworks to assist you in making the transition to the new economy. Those who don't make the transition are at risk of going the way of the dinosaurs and becoming extinct, as their business models are no longer adaptive or relevant to the new consumers in the new economy. I hope you don't end up there, but the time is still there now. The window of opportunity is still open for those businesses who would take the journey. I'm here to help you take the journey, and I'd love to hear from you. So contact us on www.cbau.com.au, or come to one of our free talks, or contact us through the website itself. I'm Richard Boyd, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye for now.